are recording live where we are. Later for you. The
Yeah.
Open Tabs podcast.
Yes.
I am Calvin Miles Smith the third, MD. I'm with my brother, my my main man, my mainest of men,
Oh,
Joe
thank you.
Carlos. Joe
Hey, brother.
Carlos, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Doc. You're looking great, man. You look resplendent.
Thank you. I'm just leaving the barbershop. My barber.
Hey,
Shout outs to Dewan Kindly of Anointed Hands.
what a name. What a name. Anointed
Yeah,
Hands.
yeah, Anointed. Hey, man, and he comes with it, man. I used to get the ghost haircut. The James St. Patrick haircut. Today I just got my regular Killer Cow haircut. I didn't get the presidential treatment, but sometimes I'll get a facial,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Dewan hooked it up, man. And before I forget, I gotta also give a shout out to my man Zach Davis, who put me onto Dewan, but more importantly, he's slanging some houses out here, and he followed us on the Instagram. I was trying to teach them
Oh, appreciate it.
how to follow us on the Instagram, how to pick us up on YouTube. So hopefully they will be good with us this episode, man.
Absolutely.
What you been up to, Joe?
Man, just third week in the new job as being over content marketing strategy for Morehouse. So learning a lot every day. And so I'm I'm interviewing my social media content person.
Yes.
Those interviews start in earnest tomorrow.
Okay.
And so or Friday. And so I will enjoy looking back. Hopefully I'll enjoy looking back on this episode once that person is hired and in full swing. It's interesting. We got 80 plus, resumes.
Okay.
And just because somebody has an Instagram account, in some cases they think they are equipped to be a social media manager of a 153-year-old brand. So
not in my house.
No. So I had to be very discerning. So I've had some late nights, bro. I've been up till 4, and as you know, and I've talked about, I've lost a lot of weight since October, but the last couple of days, this is like deep dive now. I can't wait to see what Reese, shout out to Reese, is going to say about this weight talk.
Hey, man, you're looking good, bro.
Thanks. I appreciate it. But my weight, I'm very close to goal weight, and I wanted to be at goal weight by the Super Bowl, so I could have, a few more wings than the 10 that I can have within my caloric count for the day.
Sure.
So having said that, and maybe some real sweet tea instead of my sweet tea with my unsweet tea with stevia. Okay. So but having said that, I'll probably still go the route I was already on.
That's the Lydia, the Breaking Bad on you. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. So I've been on an impasse. I've been like going up incrementally, just like 0.2 pounds, 0.4. And so today I've been very, very strict. Okay. And so hopefully it breaks through and we go back down to losing again. And so, but nonetheless, so that's been a frustration of the week. But lack of rest, is another root cause of the weight not leaving, supposedly.
Yeah, no, it is. Your metabolism picks up on the circadian rhythm, man.
Yes. So
not to get too MD, but
no, but be the MD. Shoot, this whole everything. This enterprise is literally about talking about what we think we know the most about, and I would hope that you know the most. That you know the most. Actually, this thing is about opinions. What you're talking is fact.
TLDR: if you're trying to lose some weight, you got to get some good sleep too.
Yeah,
that's a part of it. Yeah.
Right, you got to get some rest. Right. So that's going on, and then I'm wearing this shirt because got some cool stuff going on with my friends at Vineyard Vines. I can't divulge it all right now. We'll talk about
secrets
offline.
I'm offline.
Yes, but you got some cool stuff. We got some cool stuff happening.
I believe you. I believe you.
As we head into that second month of the year. Yes, that second month of the year.
Our spotlight.
Yes, our spotlight.
Spotlight on melanin.
but I talked to them about the podcast.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully,
ooh, okay.
yeah. Oh, come on now. I was throwing it all up, brother.
I love it.
Let's throw it on the wall and see what sticks. You know.
Hey, and when it sticks,
hey, let's go. So, so I just want to give one shout out there real quick.
Please do. Please.
On Saturday, I was, and this is so cool to be visual here. On Saturday, I had the honor of speaking to the Kansas City. Wow, it's kind of weird how this is doing this. The Kansas City chapter of yeah, it is one of the Kansas City chapters of Jack and Jill of America, Incorporated, and shout out to them for their 83rd anniversary of their founding. But I talked about colleges, and I talked about HBCUs, and of course Morehouse, but it was talking to the tweens, so 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, but talking about how important it is to be. Let's always still be thinking about college.
Inception.
There we go. Put it there. Right. We build the castle around it and the tanks to protect the pond. Right. It's in the snow. And so the kids have been sending me thank you cards for
very classy.
Very classy.
Very classy.
And I just want to shout them out. And I don't know if any of them will ever listen to this, but some of the parents do.
Okay.
And I of course I mentioned the podcast there too. So some of the parents do. So I want to shout them out for that. Very, very classy and totally unnecessary. Their thanks on the Zoom was more than enough, but very, very cool to receive those.
Real male correspondence still makes a difference.
It hits, brother.
It hits. It hits
slaps.
You right in the feels.
It does. It truly does. Yes,
you talked about staying up late. I've been staying up late too. I have not had any noble endeavors, unlike you. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on my antiquated PlayStation 4, and playing a little Arthur Morgan, getting some deer pelts and some rare badger pelts and shooting.
You gotta let me know about those games, because I'm
oh, you need to get a Red Dead Redemption. You need that.
Okay.
You need that in your life.
Okay.
And then we can get online and
I know that is the plan. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely, that is the plan.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well, I'm excited, man.
I'm super excited, man. We got a good one tonight, man. And anticipation has been building.
Yeah, we're learning how to do that.
Yeah, man. We're learning as we go and going as we learn and
we learn as we go. I think that's going to be the theme for next week's movie. But I'm just letting you know that now. But I'm saying that well in advance. I'll come around to that.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's circling Hartsfield Jackson right now. That plane's not going to land for a little while. Fair. But I was going to tell you that I of course, you go back and listen to the previous episodes. I watched half of last week's episode, but I listened to it, and it's so interesting because I want to give a shout out to obviously to you all's insights were just astounding.
Oh, man. JJ was coming with the heat.
He was, and because he's a philosophical, and so and a counselor,
yes,
as a pastor is,
yes,
worth their salt is a counselor. So he was thinking about the humanity of each character and all those things, and so it was interesting because he was speaking in his pastoral tone when in real time with us, but when it was sped up, it
sounded like on the yard.
Yeah. And I told him that, and he started laughing. He's like, man, I don't know, when the lights are on, when the light goes on, I can't
that's probably a good thing. Yeah.
I said, yes, very good. Yeah, that's your profession. I mean, that's yes. So it was interesting that at 1.5 speed, he sounded as excited, but if you just listen straight up, he's very measured in the tone. Never never none of that. And it was a very interesting thing about that. But y'all really came with it, man. So very, very proud of that episode.
We're trying to reach our crowns, bro.
We are.
Shout out to all the Morehouse men out there.
All of them, all of us.
Yeah,
all of us. Yes, indeed.
Woo. All right, so tonight. I
was gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna sing,
I love when you do, man. It's all good. We're going to talk. We're going to go way back to 1990. 1990.
God bless it.
Ooh.
God bless
different time in our world.
God bless 1990.
George H.W. Bush was our president, and man,
pre-war.
Pre-war,
we weren't in the Gulf War yet. It was
the Pax Americana,
yes,
as it were, and people had time to have some parties.
Yes,
and so Reginald and Warrington Hudlin.
Thank God for him. Come on,
thank God for them. We're talking about house party tonight, baby. House party.
Yes.
I think back to, I have so many memories around this movie, man. And so it came out March 9th. Shout out to Biggie Smalls.
Shout out to Biggie. Jeez.
Yeah, man. March 9th, 1990. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell my story because I've been sitting on this. This is
all
right. My childhood, in my childhood, I had two best friends, Niall Alexander and Euless Samuel Moore III.
ESM JR.
I.
Sorry. Yes.
Whose name is on some of my CDs. If I pull out my CD case now, you can see. Because we were roommates sophomore year of college. All right. So
I know that game.
In 1990, I was turning 11 years old. My birthday is actually in May. So this movie had a long theater run, apparently.
Definitely in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. So the initial plan was for my father, C. Miles Smith Jr., to take me and a group of friends to Six Flags, which is what he did the previous year.
That's kind of a heavy bill.
That's a heavy bill. Heavy bill. I now understand that.
Jeez,
in the time, I did not.
Yeah.
To my disappointment, he was like, I can't do it this time. He was just fledgling, starting out on the radio at this time, so he was,
yeah.
You know how
that's a heavy bill.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
And we talking about, I didn't have a big crew, but I had a crew. So
and y'all all gotta eat.
Yeah, man. and not to mention even Shay. So
y'all all. Go ahead.
So actually, I'm gonna embarrass Shay too in this story, because I'm gonna say, like, we brainstormed for other ideas for what we were going to do for my birthday.
Yeah.
And Shay had the idea. Shay and Nina love the farmers market, the DeKalb farmers market.
Yeah.
So they said we should just go to the DeKalb farmers market. I said, hell, I didn't say hell no, because I was a child.
But they had pastries. They had fresh pastries.
Man, I didn't want to. I was going to go from the mind bender to the pastries at the DeKalb farmers market. I vetoed that.
Good move. Yes.
So I said, well, let's go to the movies.
Okay.
And it was agreed upon. And of course, all my other friends really kind of flaked on the movies, except for Euless, because they were anticipating Six Flags. I
feel you. Yeah.
But Euless being tried and true and loyal, my weekend brother, shout outs to his mom, Sheila, who took care of me just like I was one of her own. Euless was in with us. And so Euless told his father the plan had changed. We were no longer going to Six Flags. We were going to going to the movies. And this is key. Something told me
that little piece of information.
His father told him, okay, as long as you do not go see House Party, you do not have permission to see House Party. So see, Miles scoops us up. He was driving a white Pontiac Grand Prix at the time.
Love it.
He had a stick shift. He liked to listen to, I think MC Hammer was big at that time. I'm pretty sure either MC Hammer or Digital Underground.
Definitely 1990. Yeah.
So, MC Hammer had this one song where he was like, let's make it smooth. And he'd be like, rough. And he would change the gears to that. That's how Dad drives.
I understand.
So, at any rate, all right. So we get to the Lenox Square Theater.
The beautiful Lenox Square.
Only the finest. Only
the finest. Only built for Cuban links. I love it.
This is for select people.
Hey, Lenox.
Yeah, man.
Lenox. God, shout out to the Lenox movie theater. I just want to give I just want to say that.
Yeah.
I think the last movie I saw there was The Ladies Man. I hate that.
We saw that together.
Okay.
We saw that as the Tiger.
Yes.
So, all right. So we get to the theater, and I tell you this, we're going to see House Party.
Yeah.
And I see it in his eye. Something was wrong. I was like, what's up, man? You don't want to see House Party? He's like, oh yeah, I really do. And he just kind of went with the flow, man. And we watched this movie and enjoyed it. And then next weekend, I was all excited about, because again, you listen to my weekend partner. He went to Hurst Ferry Elementary School, which is like up North Fulton County. And I went to Utoy Springs at the time. We were, the weekends was our time to kick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That next weekend, he's like, yeah, I can't go. I can't hang out. I said, what's wrong, man? Kind of found out later, Euless got the whipping of his life. He got a whipping similar to the whipping in this movie.
Your ass is bad. Yes.
Yeah, man. So I will always and forever think of Euless Samuel Moore, both Jr. and the third, when it comes to this movie, man.
I'm so curious as to who gave up the ghost.
So he did finally tell me later on. I think it was even when we got to college. He was like, yeah, man. I was like, what happened with it? He was like, yeah, man, I couldn't lie to my dad. I had to tell him. And I mean,
it's a very good I applaud it.
Yeah.
There's consequences. He did his consequences and repercussions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Whew. That's unfortunate. So you saw it at Lenox Square. Mine does not in any way compete to that amazing story. I'm sorry, Euless. I'm so sorry.
I wonder more than all right.
I'm sure he is. I wonder, does he still watch it? Like, was it worth it?
Yeah. When I told him I was telling this story, he was like, okay, good. I think he has heard this story told many, many, many a time, and this is.
I'm sure he has.
It's okay. He's perfectly fine. And Euless was a unique child. He was a very sarcastic young man growing up, much in the vein of every parent that knew him. So he's getting his just desserts now, and every parent that knew him growing up is very happy because his daughter, who I love, Eden is hilarious and is the second coming of Euless, and he deserves.
There's something in the scriptures, somebody in the text about that my mother used to quote to me all the time, because I'm getting the same right back at you. I'm coming at you. So I do understand that and commiserate beautifully with my brother Euless. But first time I saw it was at like many other movies, at my friend Charlie Berenbaum's house.
Charlie.
Hey,
Charlie's getting as many shout outs as Reese.
Charlie's getting a lot of shout outs. So I go to Charlie's to watch movies, obviously. And so my brother was with me. Charlie, as I mentioned, Charlie had a putting green off of the think Entourage when they would have the driver.
Yeah.
So he had a green where you could drive, and he lived behind a creek. Or a creek was on the other side of their pool, right. So you could putt or you could drive off of right out Charlie's sliding patio door.
Okay,
and in this gargantuan post dead tech future modernistic house. I was trying to do a Vincent there for you from the heat, but
by the time I get to Phoenix,
by the time I get to anyway. So we're out there chipping balls, and I come back in, and it's like, next up, House Party. It was on Showtime. Showtime had all the movies I wanted to see, and it's like, next up, House Party. So I said, hey, can we watch it? In the den. He's like, yeah, we could watch it in the den. And so it had to be like spring '91. I didn't see it for a year. Okay. I remember the ads, obviously. We knew Kid and Play was because you on TV Raps, or on the BET, all the BET shows. But I didn't see it for a year, but definitely was aware of Kid and Play. Definitely was aware of the soundtrack, and had cassette singles from
nice in the little sleeve.
The little sleeve from the movie, but had not seen the movie. So I finally saw it at Charlie's, and was instant. And then no, I saw that fall. I saw fall 90. I saw fall 90 because I tried that line in the film, which would be friends and lovers.
Oh, nice.
Just stupid.
Oh, Jim.
And just thwarted. it was just really silly because I didn't. He delivers it in a certain way. I'm going to come back to that later. But I enjoyed it. I instantly related to it, and I'm going to talk about why I think it's such an important film that talks about teenage life.
Yeah.
Period. It's cut across the board, teenage life.
Yes, absolutely.
And without any qualifiers, you know, with it.
Yes.
But yeah, I saw it. I loved it.
Not
and
just
I
for
still,
February.
Yeah, not just for February. that could be a whole show. Not just for February, but I saw it. And I instantly loved it. And even in the rewatch, ding. Even in the rewatch,
we're not gonna touch this one.
Yeah, no. Even in the rewatch, there were some things I picked up on that I was like, oh man, okay, this is truly what makes it special. So I love the way you set it up with Reggie and Warrington, because they put a lot of love and care in this.
Man, they did, man. I mean, you know, you think about like the movies of the time again. You had Doug McHenry and all these, you know. I mean,
look at him, Doug McHenry. Okay.
And our brother Spike. You know, we had Matty Rich, black directors and writers coming out of there. You know what I mean?
Doing their thing.
But the Hudlin brothers, man, like they, I think more than everybody else, kind of had their finger on the pulse of like what hip hop and teenagers, to your point, like what that was like.
They owned it.
They owned it. They definitely owned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it was not slapstick, but it had slapstick like traces. You know what I mean? It had physical comedy, but it was not ridiculous. You know what I mean?
No, it was so perfectly placed and situated.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're going to get into this, but this film, it won Sundance for a reason. I think it's the first Sundance, by the way.
The very first
the very first Sundance is one. And if you if I'm not mistaken, and if you look at it, if you watch the film, you see why like this film is, I mean, darn near perfect.
Yeah.
Every single scene is hilarious and amazing in its own way.
Yeah.
They're little tiny vignettes, but they're all special. Yeah. And they just did it well. I don't know what to say. And you see the tremendous difference in 2 and 3. I
have feelings. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
But definitely from 2 to 3. But there's bright spots in all those. But you know, you're chasing that high.
Yeah, and it's never quite the same as the first time. They didn't have the sequel magic quite like a lot of other films.
And they were old. I mean, they were already old.
Yeah.
But they were definitely older then.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Like, all right. So first and foremost, this movie wasn't even Kid and Play's movie to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, it was originally for Jazz and Will.
Yeah. Which I could have seen it too. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I mean, I think it still would have worked, to be honest with you. I mean, knowing what we know now about Jazz and Will.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it was Kid and Play.
Me too.
I'm glad it was Kid and Play.
Let's let there be room for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Just it don't have to be the same two guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Broaden that world. Broaden that worldview.
Yes.
But with that being said, they were in the mid to late 20s when this film was made, and you know, we happen to know when AJ Johnson graduated from Spelman, and she was probably, her and Tisha were the youngest people in the film.
Tisha definitely. Yeah. But AJ's class is 85, so that means she was 21.
Yep.
Spelman 85. She was Miss Bruin White 84-85.
Yeah.
So there's 2 AJ Johnsons in this film. Let's start that off.
That's true.
But for our purposes,
Adrian Joy
Johnson. Miss Bruin White 84. Yes, Miss Bruin White 84-85.
Reunion buddy,
yes, you're right. Exactly. I know you're gonna do your thing. I know you're gonna.
I'm saving a lot of it
as I turn my head like this.
I'm saving It's Shireen.
Yeah.
I'm saving a lot of
it. Who's also in School Days for
30 seconds. And one of the ones with upcoming for us a little later. So.
Yes. Oh well. Hey, that too. So actually, we're gonna see her. We're gonna see her a couple times this season.
Yeah, man. So I won't go too hard on her. But I guess the bigger point, I was struck by, judge me if you will, listener, viewer, but what I'm about to say. But I saw the taco meat peeping out of kids' pajama top in the very beginning. Like, he's got taco meat, man.
Yeah.
And
full force had the mustaches. I guess we've moved the nitpicks up to the beginning, but
suffice it to say, they still pull it off. Effortless
aplomb.
effortlessly. So,
effortless applause.
you know, yeah, it's you know, they were doing what they had to do that time period, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to say one last thing about, like you mentioned, not you had not really been up on Kid and Play up to that point. I don't think.
I was aware of them.
Because of
I was
MTV
definitely,
Jams.
yeah, because your
Okay.
MTV Raps
Yeah.
and any of the BET shows.
Got you.
Video Soul, Video LP, Video Gold.
Right. Sherry Carter and Donnie Simpson.
Donnie Simpson.
El Capitan.
El Capitan.
Hey.
Donnie Simpson. Yeah.
So I want to go real back just a little bit more, and another Euless Moore shout out, because he was my concert buddy too. And so the first real concert. So we went to see Bill Cosby and the Boys at the amphitheater. I don't count that. Okay. And the Boys, like sons of Man, or whatever, you know, the ones from Market Friday, Bilal and Hakeem.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we went to see the Budweiser Superfest.
I knew it was a Budweiser Superfest. I knew it was a Budweiser Super. When you said my concert, I knew 80s. I knew you were going to the Budweiser Superfest. I'm so envious of this story.
So it started out with Cool G Rap. Oh. No, not Cool G Rap. This dude, Cool. His name was Cool something. He was the first. He actually wrote the song that Snap then made famous, "I Got the Power."
Okay,
that guy.
Okay.
I can't remember his real name, so sorry to him. Sorry to that man. But Kid and Play.
Yeah.
Heavy D and the Boys.
Yeah. It's a show.
Who we came to see, Digital Underground.
Got it. And there's two of them, right? So they got the yeah. I got in huge arguments with people who believed that there were two people, but keep going.
They somehow, like, I guess they had pot dressed. I don't know how they did it, man. But yeah. and then Public Enemy was the headliner. Yeah, it was amazing, Joe. Wow. It was amazing. And if knowing what I know now, I would have appreciated it even more. But like I said, man, you was there for Digital Underground was our group. We knew all the lyrics to every single song, to the album Sex Packets at the age of 9 and 10, which we shouldn't have known.
Might be one of the greatest album names and album covers.
Yes.
Ever.
Concept album. It was fantastic. It was
truly.
Yeah. But we saw Kid and Play live there. And I'll never forget the girl I had a crush on in 5th grade. Shout out her whole name, Kelly Sloan.
That's a great Atlanta. Kelly Sloan.
Probably happily married with kids and all this kind of stuff. So, I don't mean nothing bad, Kelly.
We wish her well.
But I was jealous of Kid and Play because I think she liked Play at the time. And I was like, I look better than that nigga, you know. Didn't really, but whatever, man. So
yes,
anyway,
you did. Yes, you did. Keep going.
I was firmly entrenched in my my educated young black male phase. I'm not gonna say I was Urkel, but I wasn't the star athlete. I was
okay.
So we'll put it that way.
It worked out.
It did work out, man. It worked out. I've thrown us all the way off, man. Let's talk about our unsung heroes for the movie, man.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty easy for me.
Okay.
I mean, it can only be one of two people.
Okay.
So, actually, it could be one of three people, but I'm just gonna say, because I know we're gonna bump heads on one of these, but I'm gonna go with, in the end, I'm just gonna go with Bilal. And the reason I'm gonna go with Bilal, even though I've got a strong two, but I want to hear yours first. So sure. I think whoever my strong two is probably your one, but wait.
Okay.
But it's Bilal because he's all he's trying to do is like have you act right and do right. And if you listen to our podcasts, my unsung heroes tend to be the noblemen.
Yes, they do. There is a theme.
Yeah, there is definitely a theme there with me. So all Bilal's like, and I feel as a photographer, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, I feel him when he said, "See, that's why I don't be DJing for free, because don't be appreciating."
They don't be appreciating shit.
Nothing.
That's true.
And
poor Bilal being left out in the cold, waiting.
I mean, and then it comes over the great character actress, and I
Kelly Jo Minter.
I knew you were gonna do it.
I
I knew
love
it was. I know you do.
She
We
was
talked
in
about her before.
yeah, she was
She was in summer school.
Summer School and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
Part
Nightmare on Elm
4.
Street, part 4. There we go. And she's in the car, and we never see the scene where he, picks her up. You know what I'm saying? We never see that.
Yeah.
He just he's sitting
and
there.
He's tonguing it down, man.
I mean, lipstick all on his face. Shows up. Bilal's like, man, what is going on, bro? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they got out of school like 2 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock.
Plenty of time.
Yes. And so, but even with that, then he was trying to spin and he's like, man, get over there. Like, stop doing that. He was trying to look out for both. He was a referee kind of between them. Cause even though they're all best friends, there's a rivalry there because of the rap and girl. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think he's an unsung hero because he keeps the music going, keeps the party hype. Without Bilal, there's no party.
In spite of my man Chill.
Yeah. In spite of Daryl Chill Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and he valiantly and courageously goes to try to get Shireen to give some to come on out and then runs back through. It runs when Uncle Otis, that great character actor, Uncle Otis, scares
frightening sight. Frightening.
Ooh, very frightening. So yeah, he's my unsung hero because he's a friend to everyone.
Bilal is worthy, man. Who
is it for you?
It's Pops.
I know it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've already spoken about in our Mo Better Blues cast. Spoken about my undying love for Robin Harris.
Can't say it enough. Can't say it enough.
Whew. Robin Harris as the black father, black working class father, killed it, man.
Truly.
Like there are moments in this movie that remind me. I have specific childhood moments. I remember my buddy Michael Jones, who went to Emory while we were at Morehouse. Grew up down the street from me. My first neighbor whose house I would go to. He lived 4 houses down from me when I lived in Loch Lomond up the hill. Mm-hmm. And so Mike's dad watched Dolomite with him. That was a thing with them. Oh man, I rented Dolomite. So the disappointment there.
You grew up on it.
You right, exactly. Dolomite. Hey, look.
How dare you? How dare you
skip out on Dolomite? Hey, this is not when on demand streaming. You know what I mean? Like you had to rent it, or you had that busted tape. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah,
exactly. It was a thing. So wanting to watch Dolomite with his son, being a doting father, single father, widower, as it were. And just trying to there he is. Trying to look out.
Hello,
working overtime, like waiting on that call for overtime, and having to deal with
overtime, man.
His son getting a letter home from school, and disciplining his son rightly. Working nights. Trying to make sure his son does his homework, and he knows Peter's parents work nights just like I do. You know what I mean? And
just like he does, yeah.
And got out that house and went looking for his boy. You know what I mean? And dealt with the cops.
Yep.
Dealt with the cops in a very
Boyd and Warnarski.
I see your name.
Boyd and Warnarski.
Boyd and Warnarski.
And Warnarski.
I'm from a town called Fresh Off a Cop's Ass, and I'm feeling homesick.
You're making
me homesick.
Yeah, I mean,
hey man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Robin Harris killed this role. Nobody. I can't picture anybody else. Even in the ill-fated but beloved by me, House Party 3, when Bernie Mac comes and has some Robin Harrisisms. He did well.
He came with some thunder.
Oh yeah. Me and my boy Rashard, one of our listeners, Rashard Sanders. Appreciate the work that you do, Rashard. He's Atlanta police. Love Rashard. That's my boy.
Shout out Rashard. Oh yeah. You mentioned Rashard. Yeah, shout out Rashard.
We worked together at Camp Truett Fulton in what year was that? 94 or something like that. But anyway, we loved House Party 3 and loved quoting it and loved quoting Bernie Mac specifically. Son for yourself. So I got love for it, but his performance, as good as it was derivative of and was a tribute to, on the nose tribute, because they pull his picture out, to Robin Harris.
I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it was brilliant, and it was
Yeah.
pure octane, high octane.
Yeah.
And Bernie literally is, let's be perfectly honest, to me, other than the ladies, the brightest spot of that film, without question.
Oh yeah.
Of House Party 3.
Yeah.
It's his House Party is his movie.
Yes.
I was talking to my brother about this. House Party is his movie. Okay.
Yes.
And if you think about it, he only talks. He's normally by himself in this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's normally just speaking to himself.
He has to carry all
many
that.
of the scenes. Yes, it's like him alone in a room or him alone walking down the street.
Yeah.
And he's not in many scenes.
No, he's not.
But he is so enormous. And it's funny I'm saying that because he's like so big behind me
right.
But he is so enormous in every single scene that you can't help but like pay attention to him. And it's crazy, man. Like Robin, he was lightning in a bottle is like it's so weak when you talk about. He is an entire weather front in a mason jar, because the first scenes, just the opening scenes.
Yeah.
He's hilarious when kid comes home from school and he's woken up. He's hilarious. And the little Dolomite thing, and then he's sitting there playing with the fan.
Yeah.
Or Bilal.
I don't know why his parents named him
that African name. No, he's from Cleveland. No, they're from Cleveland. Like what? Right? And in a weird way, sometimes it sounds like he's reading the line, but he's so funny.
Yeah.
That he carries it off. But his finest scene to me is when he's in the
absolutely when he busts up the party.
Bruh. And this scene, literally this thing behind me is why I found this screen capture. When he's talking to AJ Johnson, the Ezel, better known as Ezel.
Yes.
And I heard today, my dear friend Ray Jones, shout out to Ray. Ray said there's a deleted scene where supposedly AJ and Robin go back and forth.
Huh.
I would love to find that scene.
It's not on my DVD.
No,
I know. Full disclosure, I got the 4-pack with we're not going to even talk about House Party 4. Marcus Houston, go to hell.
All right. Immature, yes, but and TLC. TLC was in 3. And TLC 3 is in 3. Yeah.
This is Marcus on his own. He's branching out.
Yeah, do that thing.
Go home, Roger.
But go home, Roger. But in a sense, I'm just gonna say he was so amazing in that.
Yeah,
and he powerhouse performance.
Oh yeah,
hilarious, and he lit up the screen in every single scene he's in, and he's just usually just aimlessly walking around trying to look for his son to protect his son.
I love it, man. I love it. He is. When you watch this movie and you're having a lot of fun. But you got to think about, like, I mean, what the world would be like with just a couple more Robin Harris.
Man, just a couple more. Yeah. I was, you mentioned the Black Father, totally the Black Father thing. When he said, you want to tell me what this is? Huh?
Right. I know you've had that moment with your dad.
I've been there. I came home with freshman grades from Howard.
Oh, man.
I tried to talk. The sun was up.
Yeah.
When it was an afternoon in Dallas. The sun was up when we sat in this room, and the sun went down, and my whole back of my head was sweating because I knew I couldn't speak. I was just getting lambasted.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the 9 month, really the second semester, the 4 or 5 month vacation I'd been on in Northwest Washington D.C. and
a learning experience. You learn. Outside of the classroom.
Yes. Whole lot. You live, you learn. Atlantis. You live, you learn. You live, you learn.
Yes.
But yeah, he had that Black Father thing down pat, man. Absolutely. And we only got a few, but gosh, it was so special what we did get.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Who do you relate to in the film, man? You kind of have alluded to it a little bit, but
in a sense, I relate to Pops. I don't. It's now. Let me take it back to then.
Okay.
We can take it back to when I was 16. I watched a movie.
Okay.
I had a little kid in me
Okay.
always, searching for some unrequited, situation. Had a little kid in me, and didn't have like a partner like play. Like it wasn't like a duo type deal. We had crew,
Right.
squad, but not like a duo or anything like that. So I'm just gonna say kid
Okay.
because but only the parts of him where only the stuff about the girls. Like it
Gotcha.
wasn't I wasn't there was fortunately there wasn't anything I was mourning.
Okay.
There wasn't like a crew that was after me. It wasn't a
Yeah, you
crew
didn't
that
have
was after
enemies
me.
like
Yeah, I didn't have I didn't
yeah.
have them coming after me or anything like that. But it wasn't like that as a kid, that age. But definitely I could relate to being a creative and trying to be respected for your art or something that you wanted to do.
Sure.
And we all want to be filmmakers, me and my buddies. And so my film knowledge, trying to speak up, saying my film knowledge and my ideas about movies are as important as anybody else's. And when I film something, it's going to be as good as or better as anybody else's. So I definitely related to that. How about you?
Yeah. So for me, I got two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I got so on probably a more day-to-day basis, I'm Bilal.
Okay.
I'm between a lot of dynamics a lot of times, like when people are not necessarily beefing, but have different opinions about
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And play said nobody can touch the microphone. He got his hat on.
Yeah, you got his hat on it.
He sees both sides of things in that situation.
Yeah.
A little belligerent, especially with the ladies. I sometimes I can be prickly with the young ladies. I'm aware I may have an awkward moment at a conference where I might not speak, or I might have a weird conversation at a gala or something like that. And I had the one moment at this party, and I want to talk to you. I want to ask this question after this, so don't let me forget to ask the question I'm going to ask.
All right.
But I was at a party once, and I did the whole little "Always and Forever" moment where I'm singing "Always and Forever" to this girl in her ear.
And you. The way he
But
sings it.
I'm missing it up because I spilling drinks all over her, and it was all bad. So there's that, and then and kind of segueing into that, I'm also Groove. The part chill.
I said smooth. I call him Smooth on IG stories. But I didn't even want to look it up. I was like, I'm not looking this up. Yeah,
inconsequential. But yeah,
I got a story about that too. But keep going.
So I have been known to drink to excess.
Yes, I've been there. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I was gonna say you may have been at one of the instances at Bell Bottoms when they were offering unlimited drinks, and
the power hour, man.
It's hard for me to say no.
Well drinks.
And it's funny because I've seen this movie with a couple of few lady friends, and inevitably, oh, that's you. So, hey man, I guess group, but I'm having fun. I'm jamming.
Yeah. Hey, look.
I know the dance steps.
hey, I'm glad you brought that up. I love how Groove was down for Kid.
Yes.
Because it was like, all right, like we're gonna show
him up. Yeah,
we're gonna show him up. Like, yeah, come on. Look drunk. Look at him drunk. But he was there until he couldn't do this. He couldn't do the spin and he fell. Right.
Yeah.
But it was brilliant timing. His physical comedy, his timing was outstanding.
Very underrated. Very underrated. He
extremely. And I think they were a rap group too. Chill and Groove were or Groove and Chill or whichever. I don't know which was first, but they were a group as well. And so, but I love, and look, and I'm going to come back to that one here since we're here. Since you mentioned Groove. Hey man, I did also relate to Groove.
Okay.
I don't think anybody in the world is talking about Groove right now.
No,
not even in it. Not even in this.
Only the Open Task podcast.
Only the Open Task podcast.
Only here.
It's talking about Groove. And if you don't know who Groove is, you didn't watch House Party, by the way. If you don't know who Groove is,
I'm getting those digits.
I'm getting those digits, right? He said when he says she's the baddest thing in it. Said that ain't hard to be in here. Now look, I have a friend who's been adamant about wanting to come up on the show. Okay, so we'll talk about that later.
Okay,
I hadn't talked to you about it yet, but it's my friend Jimmy who I was mentioning. James Jones Jr. from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, we got a lot of
yes.
fans from Chicago.
Oh yeah, God bless him. God bless him. Mr. 312. He not a 773. He's a Mr. 312. He's a 312.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kenwood Broncos. Yes. So anyway, I remember. I'll never forget. We are in the Blackburn Center of Howard University during New Student Week, and man, they have a party, and we sitting in there, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and we see someone, and I said, man, she got to be the baddest thing. I started saying it, and I was throwing bass, he was throwing back mid range, okay, and so he knew it, and we didn't even have to talk about the movie it was from, because at this point I'd seen House Party 100 times, on cassette, Be Kind Rewind, right? So and we'd known each other. We've been to school 5 days.
That's how you get friends. That's how you become friends with folks in college, man. Like, it's just those little moments like that, man. Like, thinking back to Mike Robinson and all. That's how it happens, man. For sure.
Exactly. So that's my point. So we did the whole thing, and I said, man, she got to be bad. He said, and instead of that ain't hard, he said, that's hard to be in here though. I mean, because it was the entire, it was a Howard freshman class, it was a freshman class. I said, I'm getting those digits. He said, you ain't got no game. So she don't know that.
Right.
And as I walked away, I heard Sweet Daddy. I say, Sweet Daddy. So every time we do anything on the yard, they always have like a yard fest or something. And so I was going to go get a number. And whoever you left to go do that, we yell out, Sweet Daddy.
Of course. I love us.
Yes. Got to. And unfortunately, on the yard, other people know what that means. It's like you're
kind of telling on yourself a little bit.
It's like a boat horn trying to tell somebody like he's coming to get your number.
Yeah.
So shout out to Groove. Shout out to Groove as well. He had an unfortunate ending in that film.
Hey man, and I've been left propped.
I've been left in a car.
Oh, oh man. With bell bottoms, I got Chris Larkins. Shout out Chris Larkins, New York, Ray Herring, Sheldon, all you guys that were there, man. Dominic Curley threw me in the car at bell bottoms that night. and my birthday at Twist. Remember Twist and Shout?
Twist and Shout, yeah.
So I had a birthday at Twist at Atlantic Station. We were doing shots of Patron. In my later, when I was starting to, my friends were already doctors. I was working on getting there.
Big time.
So Jeff and Now took care of me that night. But then they left me on my floor in my mom's living room. I woke up that next morning. My face was stuck to the Berber carpet, and mom was like, "What the hell?"
like Anthony Soprano.
yeah, very much so. Just luckily I was in my own home. But yeah, man. So I grew to the core, man. And shout out to the young ladies that have recognized that in me and still, still around. So thank you.
But you know what I liked about that too? Just Groove, and he's the only one drinking. I mean, let's not. I mean, and it's not to say that
they're supposed to be teenagers.
Yeah, they are. Somebody's going to always be. I mean, that's not. Someone is probably going to be drinking.
Yeah.
It's a wine cooler or something like that, because he was drinking wine coolers.
Yeah.
Or no, he was drinking malt. He was drinking malt liquor.
Yeah.
So no telling, what uncle of his or a grandparent of his, had that out so he could quote unquote be used to it, even though he couldn't hold it. But can I? And I just want to say this one little thing for me.
Yes, thank you. I was just about to pick up little things.
The movie was on the party's on Wednesday or Thursday.
School night.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Like what black? So
I don't know.
And everyone's there.
Everybody's there. I don't know, man. Maybe where's this film set?
L.A. Even though they don't say it, it's an LA.
So maybe it's an LA thing. I don't.
I was thinking it must be an LA thing. I was going to say that. I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to.
I'll take the ire of my
I
people. I love y'all.
It must be some LA stuff, but
our party's on Fridays after the football game,
right? Because he said, "Well, I'll just talk to you tomorrow in school," and it even says it on a school night. But then he's going to let him go.
Wow.
Right. Robert Pop's going to let him go.
Pops was going to let him go until that letter came. Yeah, you're right. Until that pink slip came.
At the time, it's like 3:00.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be back by curfew, so it's not like it's an all night, you know, an all night groove.
Yeah.
His curfew is 11 or 11:30. No, 11:30. So and they go to the same school, so the thought is that they all live pretty close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's close enough that the pops can walk it. I don't know why he's not driving, but he could walk it unless he was drunk, you know, that he could walk it. So yeah, so the little thing for me is that it was in the middle of the week. Pops was walking instead of driving.
Yeah.
And also one of the other little things was the authenticity of the teenagers, what they talked about, what was important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fashion. Mm-hmm. And it was very, very authentic and relatable.
Yeah. That was actually going to be what I was going to say. Like the authenticity, the language of teenagers, the way that they talked, and then like the mutual, even though they beefing, hardcore beef with Stab and Kid in the office. But when the principal just doesn't get, and you call his mother a garden utensil,
they look at each other.
Like this white lady don't get it. Nope. Like just to have that moment of the brothers recognizing the white lady not getting it, and
even at the height of it all,
I appreciate the Jello on the president Reagan.
Yeah, that was a nice little, a smooth little.
We all love that moment.
Subtle jab, yes.
Yeah. The way that they talk to each other, you know, like when Stab, just the way Stab went at him when he was like, you know, you're wrinkling my school clothes. Yeah. So what's the matter? You can't afford an iron, and just I mean, it was cold blooded, but
in a very short period of time.
But I've seen that happen at the lunch table. You know what I mean? It's think about how crazy lunchtime was. We used to sit at a lunch table. It was the same group of dudes every day. Me, Niall, Maurice, Ira Allman, and Antonio. What's Antonio? Antonio Johnson. Sitting there, same lunch table, joning on each other every day. All right, but you know, it would get out of hand sometimes. One day you say something and it'd be just too much, and then next thing you know, somebody threw a French fry at another one, and y'all fighting across the table. You know, and like, I mean, that was high school. It was so authentic. It was so much like what high school was like, even right down to like people not really being invited to the party and trying to house them. It's like housing the party, you know, like it was like that, bro. We gonna be housing shit. We gonna be housing. Hey, bow-legged Lou. Man, come on, man. So the question I had for you earlier is, and this is tough. Top 3 house parties of your life.
Oh, okay. Number 1, homecoming 2002. 145 Spence Avenue.
That's on my list as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We threw that party.
Yes. Yeah. Me and Spence and a few other people. But we threw it for everywhere from the class of really like 99, 90. So Reggie Prepperty and them showed up. So 99, all the way up to like 0506 was there.
Such a great mix of people in that party, man.
Yes. So instead of going to Coronation Ball, come over. You know, there was a coronation ball.
Yeah.
But
and I was young enough to still be going, like, even though I was an alumnus.
Yeah. We were just a year out. I mean, it was quite a night. So that's number 1 in my mind. Okay. Number 2 was September 11th, 1998. It was the post Miss Maroon and White party. Okay. The Miss Maroon and White pageant was September 11th, 98. We had a party at Belmont Estates.
I wasn't in the crew by then. I didn't. Okay.
Well, sorry. Yeah. So actually, it wasn't my party. It was Seth Pickens. Seth Pickens had a party.
Oh, this is the Seth Pickens party.
Yeah. Seth and Wayne had a party.
This is the party.
Yes. And there were in their condo they just moved into, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people there. Yes. And I just started hanging out with Seth and Wayne, and I was there.
Both of them brothers. I love both of them, man.
I love both of them very much too. And rolled up with my 4th Floor Maze crew, and introduced them to the outside world, because we were pretty homogenous prior to that. And I was like, I said, boys, I think it's time we meet some other people. Yeah. So introduced them to the outside world, and it was just You had 99, 2000, 01, and a
What a
little
time
bit
to be
and
alive.
a little bit of O2. It's a little couple co-eds had shown up. A little bit of O2 there. So it was an amazing party that unfortunately got shut down. And I remember Reggie Pepperdy standing there in the middle of the parking lot, having to tell the HOA president, like, no, we don't normally do this. Like, sir, he's being presidential. It wasn't even his party.
Do this.
No. It was like Reggie and then me, because I'm older. Yeah. I'm the oldest.
Y'all are the two most diplomatic people I know.
Yeah, we were trying not to do not call the cops. Yeah. Just do not call the cops. Yeah. So that's number 2. Okay. Number 3 house party in my life was probably so we had a party then fall 03.
Okay.
And we had this amazing party fall 03. It was called Big in 03, which was like a VH1 show.
Okay.
And we just called it Big in 03.
Yeah.
And which Smitty also called it Heaven and Hell. So in the top of the house, we had blue lights.
Yeah, I've heard.
In the bottom of the 145, we had red lights. But it was a nice mixture of we had a nice mixture of all the people in the know. That's
what you need.
Yes, they come to the 145 for that. What are your top 3?
All right, so the 145 Spence is legendary, and it was in my top 3 prior to talking about it.
Thank you.
But I giving all due respect to it, I'm gonna leave it as an honorable mention for now.
Sure.
Okay,
great.
Also, honorable mention real quick to the great Alex Branch allowing us to have a party on every floor of Kilgore. I hope he doesn't get in trouble for this, but we had a party.
The statute of limitations, I think, is
fair enough. Every floor. Shout out to Nick Kemp, who helped make the drinks that night. We had
first shout out to Alex Branch. Shout out to Alex Branch, and I got a great Alex Branch story after that. But keep going, please.
Legendary Alex Branch. So that was also legendary. But all right, so getting into my true top 3. So number 1, going way back to I think it was either 8th or 9th grade.
Okay, nice.
My buddy Gary Price, his sister Jasmine is one of our faithful listeners.
Okay,
Jasmine Bianca.
Thank you, Jasmine.
And so he had this legendary party, and I was, again, I hate to keep dwelling on this, but it's a fact of life. I was a true nerd at that time, so I wasn't invited to a whole lot of parties.
But you invited this.
Gary was my ace boom coon, my boy. He invited me to this party. Legendary, blue lights in the basement, like truly Atlanta. And my friend Adrian Lefty Smith, she posted a house party the other day on her Facebook feed, and I was like, we're going to talk about this on the podcast, and so she was there. I'm sure she was there. Like, everybody was there.
Yeah,
incredible, great party. Set the tone for me for I was like, okay, I'm a nerd, but I got a lot of props that night. You're like, oh yeah,
because you were there. Cal was here.
Yeah, man. And I was doing I wasn't just a lame. I wasn't on the wall. I wasn't upstairs. I was. And people saw, you're a cool nerd, and so in the yearbook, the coolest nerd I know.
Thank you.
I'll take it. So there's that one. Okay. Number 2 is the aforementioned, when I was drinking and singing the Always and Forever. Legendary parties were thrown at an estate. I don't know if Chris Carter, this gentleman, Dr. Chris Carter, he's a doctor. Forgive me for not knowing your practice, Chris. In the world. Married to my classmate Tequila Birdsong, who was an anesthesiologist. Mm-hmm. So he may well have owned. They used to have these blowout parties, man. Like the entire, when I was in medical school, we kicked it hard. So you would take your test on a Friday, and that whole weekend after that was party time. And legendary party on at the Chris Carter estate. We floated a keg that night. Me and my boy Jeff Jones. Jeff was known to man the keg, and he would pour the beer up for everybody. I made amends with a young Maria Schindler, my one of my favorite anesthesiologists out there up in New York. Dr. Maria Schindler. We were beefing lightweight or not heavyweight at the time, and we came to agreements on beers that night, and Dr. Ryan Edmonds. I'm sorry, Ryan, for spilling all that stuff on you. I enjoyed dancing with you that night, though. Nonetheless, thank you for putting up with Drunk Cal. So there's that party, and then finally there is the legendary. I don't even know how to really to put this party, man. Like the when we graduated from med school, momentous occasion.
Yeah, of course.
And I had two friends that shared a home together, Dr. Paul Butts and Dr. Joe Mayer.
Okay.
Joe was one of the many students that had malapropes for his name. One of the doctors, Dr. Griffith, did not care to call him by his real name, Mayer. Instead, he called him Dr. Major. So we called their home the Major Butts Estate.
I love it. Love it.
And so when we graduated, Joe had all of his line brothers from, he pledged Q up in New York.
Okay.
They all came down. And Paul had all of his people. Yeah. And we all invited all of our people. And his house is like kind of, it's not quite on the river, but it was like near the Cumberland River in Nashville.
Sure.
And me and my buddy Mark Johnson come in, and Mark had WWF Tag Team Championship belts. And so we came in with the belts. And one of Joe's line brothers was like, "Hey, man, let me get that belt." I was like, "No, you're going to have to get this belt off me." and Nal and Euless were there for that weekend. And they were like, "Oh, man, now, hey, we got to watch Calvin. He's going crazy." But that party was legendary. Great times had, man. You know, the match parties that we used to have at Meharry, incredible. But like my graduation party was better than, at least I guess for the memories of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was in a house and not in a club.
Yeah.
House party, incredible. So those
I forgot this. I do have two honorable mentions that one just left my mind, but December 24th, 1995.
Okay.
Oscar Albert Joyner.
Oh,
who I grew up, one of my best friends in the world growing up, Bert Joyner. His older brother Tom is my big brother, and was one of my protectors at Howard University. Him and my dear brother Gino Young, my protectors at Howard University. But Bert Joyner had just pledged Omega down at FAM.
Okay.
And there was no email really, but the word got around Bert's having a party on Christmas Eve at the house, at his dad's house. Mr. Joyner was out of town. And so he was celebrating elsewhere. So it was literally, I got the house keys and the car keys. My parents
the Velcro wallet.
Yeah, with a Velcro wallet. They are south, way down south. He's probably in the Caribbean somewhere. Mr. Joyner was. So he had this infinity pool. And he was the first one out there to have it in Irving and Hackberry Creek.
Had to be.
And because they didn't know what they didn't know what it was. There's cowboys living out there, all kind of people, but they'd never seen it. So anyway, the Playmaker. So I mentioned this earlier. No, the Playmaker lived in town a little bit. Okay, I mentioned this earlier, that where I first saw Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right? Because he had the laser disc. He had the laser disc. The Friday laser disc, right?
Yeah.
So, but that house party was all us, like North Dallas black kids. Okay. Private school kids. Everybody was in college, but North Dallas kids, private school kids from FAM, because he went to FAM, but people who were from all over the place. I'm from Howard.
A lot of worlds colliding.
There's a lot of worlds colliding. It was like, okay. And what I didn't realize was that was a place you should go by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Don't bring, yeah.
Classic Joe did not do that. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of tea sucking. You know, a lot of. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's you. Okay. Like, oh man, you didn't care about it before. You know, why you worried about it right now?
But in the long game, that sets some things in motion, probably.
It did inevitably. But so that was an amazing house party, and it was on Christmas Eve. Much like, and my parents were like, "Yeah, I mean, you're 21, like go, go." Yeah. And so that was a great party. And then there was I forgot to mention. I got to mention this house party that Benny Walk had. Skeet had in 2002. And this is when I first found out that Benny was dating Erin, who's now his wife. So
one of the great power couples at Morehouse Spelman. Yes.
God bless him. So Benny has his party. He and his line brothers finally had just crossed. Yeah. There was some stuff they couldn't cross to the last day of school, like after last day of school, and they had another party somewhere else. But then there was a house party that wasn't in a club at Benny's place at Villages of Eastlake, and his
Eastlake.
Yeah, and his place overlooked like the 15th hole or something like that, right?
Nice. Yeah.
And so we could like we'd be in the house, but you're also like outside. There's like just like an amphitheater of grass.
Yeah.
Because there was a long hill that led down to this hole.
Yeah.
And man, everybody was there, and everybody lived in Eastlake.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a whole bunch of people just kept coming to the party everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they lived there. Like
that's what I'm saying. Me and Travis Williams. We were creating the perfect drinks. Shout out to Trav. I don't know why it was up to us, but somehow we were in the kitchen.
Y'all the right ones, brother.
I guess because nobody was going to tell us no.
Nobody was going to tell either one of y'all no. You're right.
Exactly. So we were in the kitchen trying to make this stuff, and I just remember there were just hundreds and hundreds of people. It was the biggest one I ever recalled. Like it was very, very big, because you didn't have to just be in the apartment, because they had the whole outdoor thing. And then I'm there till the end, and it was like me and Braylon, and then Braylon went to his a friend of his lived close by. And so say less. So I remember Braylon was helping clean up, and I was helping clean up, and then I look up and it's just like Aaron sitting on the couch. I said, "Oh, okay, all right." So
a discovery was made.
Yeah, discovery was made. So I had Raj's car. He was out of town, so I had the Alta, the Maxima. Yeah. So I said, okay,
lots of good times in the Maxima.
I'm gonna dap you up and go check the fly paper and see what's sticking. And I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah. But allow it to blossom.
Allow that to just flourish.
And it percolated.
It did. So
hey, young Benny.
Hey, buddy, what's up, man? Happy birthday! A couple weeks ago. So
pay that young man his money. Sorry.
Hey, here he goes. Here he goes. So having said that, now that was a great question, an important question. But what's your favorite line from the film?
Oh man. I mean, like the one I quote the most is "Follow the Drip." Like, I mean, I just mentioned it to my barber. Has some kind of deal today with S Curl. He's selling S Curl products. I'm like, you ain't gonna put that in my head. We "Follow the Drip" is up there. But I'm kind of crude. I'm blue, so really, Full Force is a mantra. You smell that? I smell it. You smell it? I smell pussy. That's my.
I mean, that was the biggest takeaway, because as soon as I saw it, I'd heard it. I knew that line because it was already in the milieu.
And then when you watch it on TBS or one of the sanitized versions, I smell sissy, which I don't know if you can say that now.
Probably not. You probably can't.
So I don't. I haven't seen it I haven't seen it sanitized in a while, so I don't know.
I haven't either. That's a good point. Like it used to be like a TBS TNT type deal. Maybe we'll see it next month. Yeah. 31 Days of Oscar. Yeah. TMC. Well, I don't think we're gonna see 31 Days of Oscar, but maybe one of the key grips was like up for something at some point. A cinematographer.
Reggie got somewhere. Did Reggie ever get anything?
Nah.
We got to get Reggie his props, man.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, it's Follow the Drip. It's Follow the Drip for me. I'm gonna get those digits. But Follow the Drip was my outgoing message for like a month at Howard on my phone. Follow the drip. That was my outgoing message. I didn't even say anything. It was just a scene.
Nice. Right? That's all you needed.
Just
people knew who they were calling.
Yeah, that's true. You did know who you were calling. So that Follow the Drip, and then what was it? One other line I was gonna say. Another little thing. It wasn't a line, but whenever Bilal would say something that they weren't feeling, they would go like this.
Yeah.
To try to tell them like, shut up.
Yeah.
like we'd be like, we didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
Crush Groove. When is that gonna come back on? You know what I mean? Yeah. So but
Poor
let's
Bilal.
do this. But let's do this, girl.
Yeah.
And Sweet Daddy.
Yeah.
Cuts through. It's part of my nomenclature.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I mean, case in point on the reaction when we posted it on Instagram, like,
yeah,
that was one of the first things that was said, man. So yeah. I did a little digging, little
Let's do
research.
it.
Reggie got nominated. I knew I wouldn't
For
go
what?
crazy.
For what?
As a producer for Django.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he can get a 31 days, but it would have to be about Django. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
But okay. I apologize.
No. Well, I mean, how would you know?
I wouldn't have known, but I forgot he was part of it. That helped. It definitely helped to help to sell it.
I'm a big Reggie and Warrington stan.
Yeah.
You know, I read some of Reggie's run of Black Panther when he was writing Black Panther for Marvel. You know, so like, you know, they don't get, you know, they got lampooned on
Boondocks.
Nutty Professor and Boondocks. Yeah, man. So, you know, because the Dave Chappelle character in Nutty Professor was Reggie Warrington.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
You know, it's so, you know, I try to, you know, I don't feel as strongly as some people do about like, let's say like Tyler Perry or something like that, but I stand for it. I stand for it.
No, yeah, I'm a huge fan, and it's interesting because once I've tweeted a bit about just Reggie and Boomerang, and we haven't landed on that hopscotch square yet, but
Scoop.
we will.
So we need Scoop for that. Scoop.
Okay. All right. I hope he's ready. So okay. All right. Good to know. So I believe it. So I was tweeting with him about something, and I asked a question. You know, where did Marcus Graham go to college?
That's a great question.
Because he had the Howard shirt, and I didn't realize why at the time why he had the Howard shirt on, because they were shooting Some of the Distinguished Gentlemen and Boomerang at the same time, and they were in DC. And they did some stuff with Howard. You know, Eddie visited Howard, did a talk, and that's why he wore the Howard sweatshirt when they were working out in that famous scene when they're you know rowing. But he was like, man, I'm not worried about where we went to school. You know, I want to know where he hung out. Yeah, where we hung out. And I was like, yeah, but what you want to understand is, for us, for people who was at the school at the time when that movie came out, that mattered a whole. Representation matters.
Yeah.
So, but big fan of his, and when they're on it, man,
unstoppable.
They were cooking with gas. Yeah. Okay. Because this film definitely does. This film
absolutely. Absolutely, man. So, let me take a step back and ask you, real quick, what do you feel like the TV connections? Because I have a TV connection for you on this one.
Well, I mean, all right, Martin and Tisha are a big one. Okay. But supposedly, and it goes back to Boomerang again, Martin, Tisha, and Reggie, and Warrington, supposedly, I mean, they were cool, but it wasn't like that, right? And so it wasn't until Boomerang that Eddie told Martin, I know you were looking for a female lead and a woman lead, and I think she'd be the one. Yeah. And just from her 3 days or 2 days on the Boomerang set, and it worked out. But if you look at it, the chemistry they have there in that scene is very. I thought it was very, very strong.
No, it is.
And they're two Spike Lee alums, by the way.
Just want to say that.
But I thought that their chemistry in that scene was very strong, and for me, that's an obvious TV connection. I mean, that one's obvious. Yeah. But I do appreciate that. I think there were elements that were, as you were talking about a TV connection, and I hope I'm not going too far here. And
you're good.
I'm gonna rein it back in. I think there are obvious influences that you see season 1 of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, season 1 and 2. You see some of the shenanigans they get into. That there are obvious influences from this film. Yeah. You know, not to mention style, and of course, just dialogue that's spot on. Yeah. For high school kids of that age. Yeah. So I think Fresh Prince, City Guys.
City Guys.
No one's saying City Guys right now.
No one said except the Open Podcast.
So Open Test Podcast. So I think those types of shows owe a debt of gratitude to House Party.
Absolutely. So here two little quick ones. First, They made a cartoon. Kid and Play had a cartoon.
Yeah, they did.
Saturday morning cartoon. I can't say that I watched a whole lot of it,
which is brilliant. I watched it. Yeah.
But the bigger one, I can't think of too many movies where they actually have a real life TV commercial in it. And the Hey Love commercial, man.
I can't believe I have not mentioned Hey Love.
With our esteemed actor Babatunde. Hey man, that over Babatunde and
and John Canada Terrell.
And John Canada Terrell, man, Flash in the Midnight Falcon. Hey.
Another Reggie he was in Boomerang as well.
Man, he was. That's right.
But that was a legitimate commercial.
That's what I'm saying. It was that commercial was airing on television.
All over the place.
All over the place. And
coming through the damn walls. Coming through the damn walls.
No, my brother, you got to get your own. That was amazing to me, man. The Hey Love, like, I didn't realize, first of all, that Hey Love was like, for a long time, well into my adulthood, sadly, that that was one of the songs on there. And like ODB had shouts out on his album to this album. And I mean, it was. Let
me tell you something. The Delphonics. Look, there are groups, and then there are groups, and then there's the Delphonics, and it seems like every one of their songs was like a royal coronation song, particularly when they had the horns playing.
Oh yeah,
like, didn't I blow your mind this time? But they just get some Delphonics. Reading list for this episode. Get yourself some Delphonics.
It'll come back later. This season too.
It will. Listen to Hey Love. I'm with you. Listen to Hey Love. Please listen to Hey Love.
Yeah.
Like, just that song or some Delphonics greatest hits.
Yeah.
But my dad got me definitely got me into that. But
did y'all have the album?
No, we didn't have that one. We had the Delphonics. We had the Delphonics albums. Okay. We didn't have Hey Love though. Okay. My boy Gino Young, who's my Uncle Gene, his dad had everything. In this little closet, his album closet. You couldn't go in there, because he didn't want us jacking stuff up. But he definitely had Hey Love, and I fell out when I saw Hey Love. I've held it in my hands. Okay, I've held Hey Love in my hands.
You are my hero for
that. But yeah, man. Shout out to those compilation albums.
Man, that between that and Rough Side of the Mountain. Bro, who in the hell left the gate open?
I'm gonna fall out of my seat because I'm coming up.
Oh,
rough side of the mountain, and then like
it's the light of the world.
I used to do all the snippets. Then there was another one. There was like a blues one.
Yeah,
and it was like Down Home Blues, and they would say Down Home Blues, and then ZZ Hill would say cheating in the next room.
That commercial, man. Yes, stroking,
and it ended with stroking.
Yeah.
Okay. I was this age. I was there. I was the age of this so stroking was in my head, right? So when I saw that Hey Love, I went to Sound Warehouse on Beltline Road in far North Dallas. Far North Dallas, a block away from Emmett Smith's house. I went to Sound Warehouse and I got the Stroking cassette. The A side was Stroking and the B side was Love Me With a Feeling, which was probably the nastiest song I had ever heard in my life.
Oh man, were you then introduced, like, because Clarence Carter's kind of a gateway drug to like Marvin Cease and all them? Like,
yeah, I was, only because we were all listening to the commercial, right? The brothers were listening to the commercial. There was like 4 brothers in high school.
Yeah.
But I vividly recall baseball season '92. I'll never forget this. And that commercial is a big deal. And so I bought the tape, like I tell you, I put it in the van, put it in the little player in the van before Coach started the van up and we went to go play the game. And the first line that comes on, when I start making love, I don't just make love, I'm stroking. And so I'm thinking Coach didn't know it. He's like a 40-year-old white man. He knew Clarence Carter. He knew Clarence. And so he told me about these other artists. He's like, man, you like, it's like, hey, Joe, if you like that, you need to check this one out here.
Hey.
I'm like, Really?
Texas.
Do I?
One love to Texas. You got some real. Hey,
special.
don't. If you meet a white boy from Texas, don't underestimate him, man, because he knows some
That's true.
things.
That's true. That's very, very true.
They know some things.
Know some things. So shout out to Coach Bill Clay. I don't know where you are, Coach Clay, but you definitely Clarence Carter was the gateway drug to all kinds of other artists. But anyway, I'm way off with that. So let me rein it back in.
Rein it back in. Come on.
Yeah. So that the commercial in the thing was pure genius.
Yeah.
And if we think about it, there are these Time Life albums, or just, there are these things that bind us.
Yeah, they permeate all black households. Like, you know about it. Just, and when you meet somebody and they know about it. Oh, you know about that too? Like, it's crazy, man.
But this movie is one.
Yeah,
this movie is something that binds us.
It is.
This movie, but also, and so going along with that theme, HBO, when this came out, HBO was an early adopter, and with the behind the scenes, and so they had a whole behind the scenes, a making of.
I love it, because that was where you were able to get like
the clips, exactly. And so, the house is a set, the interior is obviously a set.
Yeah.
And they talked about that, and they talked about John Witherspoon. And what's my
great John Witherspoon?
Late great John
That's
Witherspoon.
Who Else I Am, by the way. Can I say this real quick, Joe?
Please.
Because there might be some people that don't follow me on social media. But I was John Witherspoon this weekend for a party that happened next door to me in my apartment. I put on my public health hat. I wish I had it near me. My public health hat and my iridescent public health shirt. And I'm a member of the Nashville Board of Public Health. So I went next door and I said, "Hey, look, you guys have to disperse this party, or I'm calling the authorities." And these students of an unnamed large university across the street from me, they oh yes sir, of course, and shut it down. So I was John Witherspoon, public enema. Ain't nobody interested in no public enema.
Oh yes, Mr. So-and-so coming in just a minute.
Come back to bed, Harry.
Harry.
Finish what you were saying. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, I was gonna say no. I just the movie magic was cool, and the idea, and one of the things I don't think that landed on the film was the idea that they tore the roof off the house.
Yeah. And then at the very end,
the roof lands, but George Clinton is in the film.
Yes. Tear the roof off the sucker.
Right. Tear the roof off the sucker. Right. So he's in the film. It's the the little Easter egg there, right? Ties that bind there. And so I thought that was cool. I thought that was always very cool. But I was going to say about John Witherspoon, he's just up there riffing, and just up there riffing. But he said something like, when he's sitting there making fun of the guy, "Hey baby, yes, you do have some nice ones." In my younger years at Oliver Otis Howard University, at the Howard Plaza Towers, the way they were situated, there was about a 20-foot wide gap between the two. You could drive your car either way between it.
Nice for catcalling.
Yeah, very nice for catcalling. So I'm not gonna incriminate a friend, but I was walking one day through there to go to the legendary McDonald's on Georgia Avenue,
next to up against the
yes, right there, yes sir, the world famous. And I heard a voice saying, "Hey baby." I looked up as there were several Howard co-eds, in front. They looked up like, "Who is he talking? I know you ain't talking to me." They all like when Will says, they turn around to see who you beeping at.
Right, exactly.
Same general concept.
Yeah.
And then, after I got my McDonald's, I then joined him upstairs and in the window and did the same thing. So which we were very, very heavily influenced by, of course, John Witherspoon.
The great.
He said, "I paid $15,000 for my house." Yes, I did.
A lot of money back then.
Hold on. Hey. Cash, liquid. That's a lot of money. Yeah, but yeah, special. Absolutely. What do you think about? I'm gonna just get to nitpicks. My personal.
Okay. Sure.
Is Full Force in high school?
No, hell no. Can't be.
Thank you.
I mean, they have full. All right, so Doctor and me. These guys are, I was just talking to a group of students today about how we determine when we write in our medical notes, we say well-nourished, well-developed. The well-developed part of it talks about your Tanner staging and how you are built like as a man or like as a woman, you know, like what your build is like, if your hips have widened, all this kind of thing, right? These dudes are Tanner stage 4, Tanner, ain't no Tanner stage 5, Tanner stage 7. These dudes are grown-ass adults with like full facial hair.
Yeah.
Like, no way. No way.
Okay.
Stab got a personalized driving license plate.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a Jeep. I mean, they're doing all right. He's doing just fine.
Yeah, man. All of them carrying pagers.
All of them.
The implications. Kevin Powell.
It is a lot.
Shout out to Kevin Powell.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin Powell. Yes. It is. I never shout out Kevin Powell, but that one, sorry. Yeah. No. But when you're right, you're right. I just didn't. It's a little preachy for my taste on the show. Yeah. But nonetheless,
I agree.
Nonetheless, yeah. I as I look back at it, I thought to myself, come on, now they're not in high school. And then the whole thing, the whole problem starts because he backs up and the milk that he's pouring over accidentally gets on him. Then he stands there and lets him bump into him. Like, come on.
He was cruising for one. He was looking for one.
He was. And he knew that he was an easy mark. So, yeah. But he stood up for himself.
Yeah, he did.
Even though he said, "You went out like a sucker," right? Whatever. he stood up for himself. So that is obviously definitely appreciated. Yeah. That's one of my gripes in the film. An interesting question I have though in the film is in the jail scene.
Oh, very problematic.
Yeah, didn't age well. So I said every scene is perfect. This one's not.
Yeah.
The rap was homophobic for no reason. It disappointing. I mean, you gotta talk about it. You can't. I mean,
I enjoyed the pimp on the phone. That was the highlight.
Oh, I love the pimp on the phone. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about after that.
Yeah.
Even though that great character, which surprised him when he was in prison. Even though that my man, he's in it, but he does the whole that whole rhyme is homophobic for no good reason. Yeah. Like why? Why are you doing this? It's kind of like School Days. Like, why are you? The knee jerk is to say why are you doing it? It's to go
unnecessary,
totally unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
But Stab and crew are there to wait for him after he gets off the phone.
They pull a straw.
Yes.
They was willing. They were about to take. Yeah.
They were down, which goes back to Stab's line. I'll be ready to, widow honey. Then it's like, I don't know about that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, right.
But when it comes back,
he's always
he's like, when it comes to my dig action.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting thing that you never come back to.
No.
It's never, okay, fine. Sure, we're never gonna come back to it, but very odd that he's sitting there waiting too. Like he has a look on his face, like, yeah, I'm waiting for this too. Like this, was that your impetus?
That was his tension. That was his tension with him. If we want to go there as far as like psychology is concerned,
it's very
that's sexual tension. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, projecting.
He wanted kid.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's quite obvious. So I got to come down to. I know you're answering this, but Sydney or Shireen?
I mean, okay, Joe. I'm a Shireen guy.
I know you are.
I wanted to, and not just AJ. All right. Now Shireen was a tease, for sure. You know what I mean? I think she was a tease for a reason. She saw, I think she was seeing things where she was living with Clifton Powell and all them, you know what I mean? Like, so she wasn't just giving it up easy. You know what I mean?
Shireen was protecting herself.
Exactly.
Shireen looked like Shireen for a long time. And my brother equates it to, they've been offering you free pizza for as long as
right
forever. So you about tired of free pizza. So
I love it.
She didn't had enough, she's tired of free pizza. So
I'm a Shireen guy.
Yeah.
Shireen was, she got that little sassy, it's well established in our Open Tabs canon, the killer, for better or worse, I have a type.
No problem with that. No problem.
Shireen is the one, man. Hey, her home life, man. Let me talk about that real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Because like there was a lot of people in that house, man. A lot of people in the hood, in the projects,
Play said it.
Yeah.
And he was talking, he was speaking science.
Yeah, no, he was, but one of the little people there was our friend Desi Arnaz Hines II.
Desi Arnaz Hines II,
aka Young Trey.
With the rat tail,
pouring all the sugar in the Kool-Aid.
And if you think about it, it was like around that time.
Yeah.
Like he might have made one like right after the other.
Yeah, definitely. And then the product placement of the Dick Gregory. Twice, because Pops was drinking the Dick Gregory too. But Uncle Otis definitely.
I got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat.
Yeah, man. But
Sherane, I love it's Dick Gregory though too, because it's black product placement.
Yes, absolutely. I like family dynamics like that though. I want to let me meet Uncle Otis and all them. I ain't scared. I'm not Bilal.
Uncle Otis. There was grandma was there.
Her sister
Clifton Powell. She had an older sister. And at least two kids. At least two kids. Yeah, it was a lot of people in there.
Packed in there, man.
Yeah.
All
watching the Hey Love commercial.
Who's taking a shower first?
Right. And that place was probably at best a 3-bedroom. At best. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna limit and say it's a 2, but at best it's a 3-bedroom.
Rough.
And man, it's not. It's a little bigger than the Evans place, just because it's 2 stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's rough.
But Sherane, and she was cool. She, reminded me a lot of my cool aunt Kim, like just her personality. Like, I'm a Sherane fan. Sydney, Sydney was nice. She, I'm not as big a Sydney fan. She's all right. I don't hate her.
I wasn't a Jane Toussaint fan, but I was definitely I was not a Jane Toussaint fan.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was definitely more of a Dina. Dina and definitely oh gosh, now I can't think oh gosh, I'm gonna be, this is for the Black and Silver. Jillian? I can't think of wow. This is
you talking about Phyllis Yvonne Stick?
No. Her name is Paula Parker.
Paula J. Parker?
No, it's Paula something. But she was in the crew for I Don't Want to Be Alone Tonight.
The Game Array. Okay,
yes. Did you say Nicholas Suppliers? Yes, I did. That one.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so I just went. I was never. I wasn't a fan of her characters. Sure. But I thought that I had a roommate in college that hated her black speak, and he would call it out. Shout out to Seth Patterson at Howard University from Phoenix, Arizona. From Chandler, from Chandler, Arizona. Seth
the Cardinals played there for a little while.
I know. Seth Patterson used to talk about. He's like, why is she talking like? What is this black speak? And if you watch it, she says it. You're not so bad, your damn self. Like she says it once or twice. But I liked Sydney when she warmed up.
Yes, she was. Yes,
very different, because I think she just had a lot of insecurity because they're in high school.
Yeah,
had a lot of insecurities like anybody else would.
Yeah,
and she hangs out with Sherane. Sherane gets a lot of attention.
Yeah,
and but Play called her fine Sydney.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm with you on Sherane. I'm there. It's Sherane. But I will say this though. Playing a long game, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but possibly. Yeah. We never saw Sherane again, unfortunately. I wish we had.
No, man, we didn't.
But AJ was doing her thing. But I'm with Sherane. I'm with Sherane all day. So, but having said all that, I think it's interesting that when you look at the dynamics of the two of them, they were both competing, for both guys. And it's interesting how it shifted so effortlessly throughout the evening.
Yeah.
And still made Kid the focal point, in the script. And I'm curious I'm curious. Like, I wonder if Play was like, man, that ain't cool. Like, I don't want to be made to look like the fool. I don't want to be made. I'm wondering.
It's
I
funny
just wonder
because, as a fan of the later movies, it seems as though Kid was more invested in the acting and into doing the stuff than Play was. That's just my feel on it. I think that
his name was Play.
He's yeah.
But he married Shari Headley though.
He did. He made it. Then again, all right, so that's another classic argument I've had on my Facebook, which I'm sure you've seen, Joe. I'm a Patrice fan. I like Patrice. Joe, hey, look, I got a lot of flack.
Shari Headley's pretty,
but she's a good choice.
It was a fine
choice. Lisa, hey.
Lisa, that was a fine choice. I mean, you couldn't go wrong. But I'm a Patrice fan too. I mean, give me. She know what she want out of life.
Patrice is going exactly.
She wanted out of life. She know what she want out of life. You know what I mean. And when we do the Coming to America, I'm sure we're gonna have spend a little bit of time on Patrice.
I hope so. Oh man, we can talk about just Patrice.
Yes.
Why does she always get the good ones?
Right. So no, but it's just interesting, their dynamic. I thought the dynamic was interesting, and you notice when she gets jealous, and then AJ or Shireen's like, okay, oh, what's up? You upset? All right, well, and then she later says, she's like, go get him. You think, but they're still friends. Like, well, I ain't like you, and calls her, what she calls, but I like their dynamic a lot. Yeah, and then later, later when she tells her, she's like, I got something to tell you.
Them these the breaks.
I know, and instantly she starts in on Play. Yeah, instantly as soon as
Stace acclaimed.
Yeah. So as soon as Kid's out of the way.
Yeah, man.
One could say there was a some color at play with that.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean,
if you want to go get super deep, but I don't want to get that deep.
It's always there, man. I mean, I'm so proud of us progressively. We got a long way to go. Yeah. Long way to go. But I mean, the dark skin sisters, man, getting props. Queen and Slim.
Thank God.
Thank God. I mean, but it should have been, and to the point, like my dad was the complete opposite. Like he, so he kind of instilled in me growing up. He was like, look, don't be color struck. Like,
color struck is a word of our parents' generation.
Yeah, it is. And
if someone says color struck, I know how you were raised.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? I know how you were raised.
So pervasive. It's so pervasive, and I mean, like
it came up in. I don't know if you've seen One Night in Miami yet.
Yeah.
But it came up in One Night in Miami.
Yeah.
When the Jim Brown character is speaking to Malcolm.
Yeah.
And he says it, and he just says, which I really enjoyed some of those individual performances, by the way.
Yeah, I did too.
And something I didn't realize about that, and I'm gonna land a plane. Something I didn't realize about that was that I forgot that Sam Cooke died that year.
Yeah, man. I forgot about it too, in the context of it, like just how young and dynamic all these young men were.
And two of them were gone within a year of that
just
event, of that night.
Amazing in a bad way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In a very bad way. Two of them were gone within the year that night. But anyway, I just sitting here, Shireen, had to ask the question. It was in the film, so I had to ask the question.
Yeah. It's like Clark and Indigo,
Yes. Yes, it is like Clark and Indigo. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, yes, man. Indeed. So I'm gonna skip genre defining and societal impact and go straight to, where does it rank for you, man?
It's one of my top teen movies. Okay. It really is. I think with the John Hughes movies.
Yeah.
I liken it to Ferris and them.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
To
a lot
Ferris.
of that element, like on the run, kind of from not Ed Rooney, but your pops this time.
Yeah, exactly. To Ferris and exactly, on the run, close at hand, always a second behind, but right there.
Yeah.
I put it up there in my top 5 teen films, teen comedies.
Okay.
Definitely one of my easygoing throw it on. You can do your thing.
Yeah.
Movies as well.
Yeah.
That's a new genre. I just
Yeah.
I just create. I don't know what that genre is, but
I know it has a je ne sais quoi. We know
it does have a je ne sais quoi. Yes, but definitely one of the more enjoyable films to watch because it's so genuine, Calvin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I cannot stress enough how much of Black life was seen throughout this film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying about so I'll just say that, and I'll let you can take it from there.
I'm gonna piggyback with that and say, like, the parents frat party that they're attending.
Yeah,
like it gets all those elements.
Yeah,
like,
you have
the safe sex message.
Yeah,
yeah, I agree with you. For me, my ranking where I like, so as far as musical movies, like movies that have like a strong music theme, not quite a musical, but a strong music theme. It's one of my favorite. Like, you think back to like Ain't My Type of Hype, like all these different songs.
Full Force.
Yeah, man. Full Force don't get enough credit for the production.
No.
That era, they definitely were doing their thing. So there's that. And as far as one day or one night movies, like, encapsulating one day. This is another great one, along with Ferris Bueller. Just really like the timeline of the day and how things go, and it really captured that really well. I thought that it was a good one day in the life of these people movie.
Yeah,
that's how house parties go. Like they get
playing quickly, and they do their thing. I think also in addition to that, it winning Sundance is not a small thing.
No,
it is a monumental thing because it was a beautifully made film.
Yeah.
And you touched on the frat party. And what I was saying was frat party projects. House, nice house, nice home as well.
Yeah.
Nice Play's house was nice.
Yeah.
Kid lived in a modest but it's fine home. Yeah. Hey, they own the house. They live in the house, right?
Yeah.
But you had all these different vignettes of Black life or views of Black life.
Yeah.
And then the thing that tied them together was Hey Love. And the thing that tied them together was being Black. The police stop Kid. They stop Pops. They show up to the house. Boyd and Winarski.
And show up to the frat party.
Yeah, to the frat party, right?
Make them say, I am somebody.
I am somebody. Yeah, make them do that, right? And so they get all upset, like the way you just get upset right then. Yes, they get all upset. So it's like all these Black experience things that I don't think people don't like pay attention to that. I think because you're laughing, but nah, they're throwing some messaging heat.
Yeah.
It's buried there in the SEO. That's what I'm studying now in my new job, the search engine optimization. They're like, no, these are the keywords
these are where will pop your
messages that the synapse will happen later.
Yeah.
But I think that and the dancing.
Yeah.
And the kids having a good time, cutting loose. I thought that was so beautiful. Now, having said that, my educational experience growing up was predominantly white private schools. There were some Black kids there, but much less in high school. My Black outlets when it came to that stuff was church. There were no dances. And Jack and Jill. And then we had something called the Interscholastic African American Coalition of black kids in private school in Dallas. Isaac, now known simply as the delegation. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say that. So when they would dance like that, the parties and everything, I remember my brother had not been to teen conference, Jack and Jill teen conference yet, and I said, "Look, man," and we watched the movie. I said, "Hey." His first one was in '92 in Alexandria, Louisiana. Not as fun as the next year in Houston, but it was cool. But I said, hey, I said, this is what it's gonna be like, man. Every night, okay. These girls gonna be out here dancing. Yep. You gotta
be
dress,
with it.
Yeah, dress fresh, smelling good, looking good, feeling good, and make it work, man. You gotta make it work. Make it work, right? Yeah. So to that end. It was definitely it was an impetus. It was part of with A Different World, with School Days, with stories that my mother told me about her times at Jackson State College.
Yeah. It's a good entry point.
Yes, this was a great entry point for me to think about those predominantly Black spaces.
Yeah.
To grow in and to thrive in. And
Absolutely.
seeking them out. So this film had a profound impact on me applying to Howard University, Dillard University, Hampton University when I was a senior in high school.
Nice. I mean, that's representation matters, man.
Absolutely.
Man, I want to touch on something. You talking to Jordan about dancing and all those things. I got to shout out like family and learning how to do these dances at like family functions, like kind of practice a little bit. Like I can think of me and my cousin Jerika doing the dance, the footwork dance that Kid and Play do. Like, learning how to do those things in those settings. And then so when you get to a real party, you got it. You ready. You down.
Yeah. My cousins were always in Mississippi. And so I didn't have time to, I practiced with Jordan and I never got the Kid and Play right. I've seen it, well, of course, on Friends, Ross and his sister, I can't remember his sister's name right now, but they did it.
Monica, yeah.
Ross and Monica did it like to perfection.
I know too much about Friends.
Yeah, they did it. No, you don't. That's fine. There's no problem with that. It was a top show for years for a reason, right? Great writing, hilarious. You're never gonna let me no. Embrace that.
Okay.
Yes, embrace that. But Ross and Monica did the dance to perfection.
Yeah.
But then I saw it in person at the wedding of Jeff Bennett. Jeff
his father-in-law is a faithful listener, Dr. Frank Perry.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Dr. Perry. Hey, shout out. Hey, Dr. Perry.
Tell your Dr. Perry story, please.
Dr. Perry. On that very night when I saw the Voorhees finest, Jeffrey Robinson Bennett and George Albert Peters. Yeah, George Albert Peters II do the dance.
Nice.
At their wedding at the Atlanta History Center.
A lot of Kid and Play vibes there. It was just
very much so. Very much so. Good gosh. Oh, like crazy. But they did the dance. And I was taking pictures of it as fast as I could. A little, 7 pints below at that point. Me and CJ were racing to the bottom of a
that's because Dr. Perry was
that was earlier in the night. So this is at the wedding. That was in the wedding. So later, Dr. Perry, we're at the St. Regis up the street, and we're drinking, and I'm sitting next to Farai Matetwa, and Malika Lewis Picard, and
my travel lover.
Yes, and David Allen Calloway, and next thing I know, we're all kind of there, and he says something. He comes up to us. We say, "Hey, congratulations! It's a big night. Congratulations!" He say, "Thanks, man. I just want to tell y'all, and we nobody think about the bill. We're just kind of, enjoying life."
Yeah.
And he said, Fisk University gonna pick up this tab, for you Morehouse boys. Just want you to know, Fisk can pick up the tab.
Tony Perry to a T.
Yes. And we said, well, we and instantly we all raised the glass to Fisk University and kept on order
and kept it going.
keep the party going. No,
right.
So shout out to Dr. Perry.
Oh,
yes,
man.
Indeed. But I saw them do the dance there. So I've seen several attempts. But I've only seen it done to perfection once.
You got to be like to your point. You got to be friends.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's some coordination going on there. Coordinating,
coordinate.
A lot of that going on with that dance. So, it makes a lot of sense that Jeff and Georgie are able to.
Same neighborhood, grew up the same neighborhood, the street over. Yeah. So
the great George Peters 2.0.
2.0. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, what's left for us, man? What you have any closing thoughts on the
No, I think I covered. I think we covered. I think we covered House Party.
Yeah.
I think we covered House Party. It's interesting because my that roommate of mine, Seth Patterson, at Howard, he couldn't stand the I'm dyslexic here. I can't see I can't point. The young lady in the corner wearing the red. He couldn't stand her dancing so close to Martin because she wore red and Martin had on orange, and he thought it was an amazing distraction. And he said she looked like Foghorn Leghorn, like a distracting red blur of Foghorn Leghorn. But sister, do your thing, dance your dance. He was very particular, so you do your thing and dance your dance, girl. Don't worry about what Seth was talking about. But it's funny, as I looked at that picture, I now I always look for her in the crowd to see it there. But I just thought it was a beautiful picture of about life as a teenager, and these teenagers happen to be Black. And that's why I dug about it.
So 3 things. Shout outs to safe sex. And holding off if your condom is old and
yes.
dry.
Huge shout out in 1990. By the way,
that was bold statement to make.
Yes.
So there's that. Shout out to whippings. I got my fair share.
Me too.
And that whipping at the end was fantastical. Fantastical whipping.
Fantastical.
And shout out to freestyle battles, because we all, usually I had to have a few in me to do a freestyle in the back of somebody's car with like the likes of Ray Herring or Will Cade or somebody going back and forth. But these jokers, man, that freestyle battle was incredible. And me and Euless knew that by heart. But after his father allowed him to get over.
Eventually.
Yeah.
We all had those. Well, many of us had those films that you couldn't see this, you couldn't see that. So mine was Purple Rain, and I snuck and watched it. No, I snuck and watched JoJo Dancer.
I was just talking to the barber. I've never seen it fully. Like I've never seen it fully.
I was on such bad punishment for seeing JoJo Dancer. It was, and the funny thing was, I was told to stay home. I couldn't go do certain things, but then I was still watching whatever I want to watch because they left.
Yeah.
My parents left, so I just put the tape back in the player and finished watching the JoJo Dancer. Like the VCR was hot from the rewind, and the tape was hot.
All that evidence that you had no idea you believed.
None.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
No evidence whatsoever. So the key is watch it immediately.
Yeah.
And then let it cool down.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, one last thing. Did you know that the guy who was that kid was being a peeping Tom and watching him have sex?
He was in Coming to America.
He actually had a name in the movie. They named this character. His Roughhouse. How random is that, man?
He's a guy in Coming to America. He's like, you gotta watch this guy.
Yeah.
You know when they're at the house?
Yeah. When they're at the house and Cleo's like making dancer.
Yeah. That's him. By the way.
Oh man, Joe, it's always a pleasure, man.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
So tell me, it is your turn.
We're gonna downshift into something a little different this time.
Okay.
I don't think you're ready for this. Jelly.
I'm not ready for this jelly. Okay.
No, I don't think you're ready for this jelly, because I already know what's happening the week after that, so I'm not worried about that so much.
Are we gonna be able to do that? By the way, that's your busy period.
Oh yeah. We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine.
All right. Okay.
Thank you for asking. I wanted to say something real quickly though, because as we are tonight. Cicely Tyson passed away.
Yeah.
And Cicely Tyson passed away, and legendary actress, 96 years old.
Yeah.
Tony Award winning actress who was Academy Award nominated, and probably Emmy Award nominated, all those things.
Yes.
One of our queens.
Yes.
And our true legends of cinema, period.
Yeah.
And definitely one of the most important Black actresses ever, or actors ever, working actors ever, forever and ever. And whose name is read among the rolls of honorary degree recipients of our dear alma mater, Henry Lina Morehouse College. She is a 2009 honorary degree recipient.
That's right.
And as I say that, the rest of the 2009 honorary degree recipients included Henry Louis Gates and Henry Louis Aaron. And
oh man,
and wow. I'm gonna be quiet and let you. Given you are Atlanta to me, and I know how inseparable Atlanta is with Hank Aaron.
I tell you, there'll never be a more accessible and genuinely loving and caring and nice athlete ever to live again. Like, I mean, it's as far as the records he set, even if you disregard his home run record. Phenomenal baseball player. Like, I mean, just it stands at the top on all lists. But then when you add the hammering aspect of it, and he was hammering these home runs. And I remember watching at home, my grandfather used to have a television show he would watch. It was like a home run derby from the 50s or 60s.
I used to watch that show all the time. He loved that show. Home run derby. Home run derby. Yeah, I used to watch that show.
He featured on that all the time.
All the time. I watched it.
But we in our circles, we knew him. and just the kindest, gentlest
Mm-hmm.
guy. Like, just, was, I mean, he was one, he was just like many black men of his era. You didn't want to mess with him. You weren't gonna get on his wrong side at all.
No,
But
sir.
he wasn't one of those people that really, I mean, you would have had to like be kind of a jerk like Barry Bonds was at one point to to get that out of him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I was lucky enough in my life to have a couple of interactions with him, and always very kind, gracious. Knew my grandparents, and just respectful uh, pillar of the Atlanta community. So beloved,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the few that could unite our black and white elements in a
Mm-hmm.
way that was like, it wasn't pandering, it wasn't anything. White people loved him, black people loved him,
Mm-hmm.
and he loved them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just was, when you think about Atlanta, you think about Hank Aaron, and we could always. I think one of my cousins, either Mitch or Steve, posted on their Facebook. You could always go back and say, "Well, at least we got Hank Aaron." You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
In our sordid Atlanta sports history, not a lot to look on with pride, but we had Hammer and Hank, man, and it's a big loss, big loss, big loss.
Yeah,
And,
you said it beautifully, and I just thought about the last time I saw him. I had the opportunity. He, of course, so generous. He and his wife Billy.
Yeah.
So
patrons to the college, very
just patrons to anybody who needs help.
Anybody in Atlanta, really.
Anybody who needs to anybody who needs help. But definitely patrons of the college, and they were hosting the Hank Aaron Scholars in a very nice suite at now Truist Field, but SunTrust Park at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I go in there, and I'm there, and I'm sitting down, and like Hank Aaron's like next to me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's two seats.
Yeah.
He's two seats over.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize his grandson was with him. So his grandson wanted to sit, next to him. But sure. I'm sitting like the row. We're in the suite though. So we're in and the suite's got I'm talking the wide suite, bro. Like it's room in this bad boy, right?
Yeah.
So as you go in, they got all the spread is just immaculate.
Yeah.
And we're talking baseball.
Yeah.
I'm just looking back, listening to him. And then the people around are realizing it's Hank, and they shout him out. And he just took the time, and he was so gracious. The first time, that was the last I got to watch 7 innings of baseball with him, and that's
amazing. That's amazing.
9 other people sitting down there where we were sitting.
Yeah, because he is baseball. So that's
absolutely.
You're not gonna top that.
He was one of the first. He was one of the first recipients of the Candle in the Dark. At Morehouse, and he was the impetus for Frank Robinson being winning Candle in the Dark as well. Being awarded a Candle in the Dark as well, which for the Morehouse listeners, then that's a big deal. Yeah. But also, so the first time I met him, I'm just gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up. The first time, that's one of the reasons I love Morehouse. I always say it: Ebony magazine come to life. Yeah. My whole life, I'm reading Ebony magazine. And now I know why they would talk about Chicago, and I know why they talk about Atlanta, because Atlanta's where black folks, Chicago's where they were, and black folks live in Chicago, and so things that are important to Chicago are important to blacks, or definitely the black people. If that's probably where their highest readership was, it makes sense. They're going to talk about Chicago things, but also Atlanta, and the reason being Atlanta, Lerone Bennett was a senior editor. He was educated there, but Atlanta, black folks live in Atlanta, and black folks buy Ebony magazine. Yeah, so you see all these things so much, growing up, and the first time I met Maynard, was also the first time I met Hank Aaron in the same room in Archer Hall in this room, and they were trying to tell us what to do to organize. Yes, to organize to help Roy Barnes run for governor, and and Maynard gave me. He said, "Okay, you're gonna have floor captains for every dorm, and then you have a dorm captain. And I want all of you all to go out in the streets, and we're going to give you the pamphlets and the information, and that's what you're going to do. That's what we did from mayor, and that's what I want you to do. All right, so that's how we're going to do it, right? So he's on one side, he's at the end, the Godfather, Godfather.
Absolutely.
The hair is slicked back. He's got the suspenders. I mean, he's the Godfather, right? The power. Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to say this. I'm gonna shut up. I really am this time. I got goosebumps thinking about how you could feel the gravitational pull towards Maynard whenever he was in a room. And that first time I met him, I was like, couldn't even look at him because I was like, oh my God, that's Maynard Jackson. Oh my God. And I'm in the same room. And then 4 people over is Hank Aaron.
Right.
And I'm thinking, bruh, I've got to run and call my parents. I've got to run and call my parents right now.
Yeah.
So Hank tells us how important it is to vote, why we need to do it. And then after, I'm the sports editor. So I'm trying to talk to him and ask him some stuff.
Yeah.
We don't even have baseball, right? But I'm trying to ask him some stuff. And I think the Braves just lost to the Marlins in the playoffs or the Astros. It was one of those years.
We didn't lose to the Astros so much later, but yes.
Was it? Okay, I'm sorry. It was in the 2000s. It was the Astros, but it was Marlins, definitely Marlins.
Definitely.
And so there we go. So he took a picture, and I wish I still had that picture. That was up in my Maroon Tiger office. That was up there. But to your point about accessibility and humility and just kindness, and a person that went through so much.
Yeah, so much.
I'm so happy that the second half, the life after the game, was so rich and full of success because he deserved that and everything else. And I hate that we couldn't give him more of those flowers
while he was alive.
While he was alive, and definitely in celebration of his life just this past yesterday. Just yesterday.
So it was so unexpected. I mean, but he lived a long, fruitful life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as did Sister Cicely Tyson, 96 years old.
Boy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, man.
So I wanted to say that. So sorry about that.
No, you're good.
The next film, we're gonna go back to a time.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Let's go back.
Let's go back to the Gap. Kanye. So we're gonna go back to the 1920s.
Nice. I know where we're going.
We're gonna see a film called The Cotton Club.
This is gonna. I've not really seen it, so this is gonna be. Yeah.
Yes. Now we're gonna watch the version that is the Cotton Club Redux.
Yes.
Okay. And so you won't have anything else to compare it to, which is great. So the beauty of it, though, is it's directed by Francis Ford Coppola, produced by the great Robert Evans, made by Paramount Pictures, starring Gregory Hines, Richard Gere, and so Bob Hoskins, Fred Gwynn, and Lynette McKee.
Woo, Lynette McKee.
Yes.
I'm ready for all of that.
I know you are. Lawrence Fishburne, and what's my man? James. What's James Remar? It's James Remar.
Yeah. Oh, James Remar. Yeah.
And James Remar. So it is currently available on Amazon Prime.
I'm on it
for you to watch.
Say less.
Yes. So and Diane Lane.
Yes. Well.
Yeah. So and everybody was young and all that. So anyway, having said that, brother, hey, I appreciate it. I love you, man. As always, you did it to death. Funky good time.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to reach that bar, Joe.
You are the bar. What are you talking about? Every time you push it up a little higher.
Oh man, hey, look, we opening these tabs, guys. We follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like us, subscribe to us, Spotify, the Google Podcast. Working on Apple, guys. I'm working on trying to get us on Apple.
Wow. Look at you.
Yeah, man. We got a Facebook page in the works.
Yes,
that's coming.
Yes.
We are on YouTube now, so you can see us. You can see Joe and his Vineyard Vines in my Shirley shirt.
Yes,
Maurice.
Shout out to Maurice. I'm gonna shout out to Shep and Ian for the Vineyard Vines.
You do that,
but shout out to I will.
But yeah, man. So we love you guys. Thanks for listening. Give us your feedback. We enjoy it. Look forward to hearing from you guys. And till next time, this is the Open Tabs Podcast. Peace.
Absolutely. Peace.